In Hollow Earth, Kong is pursued by wolf-like titans. The wolves try to kill him, but they all fall into his traps. Kong thinks he has eliminated them all, but some of them survive and start walking towards him. But Kong tears one of them apart with a ferocious roar. The other wolves are frightened and flee. Kong returns to his hiding place and tries to feed himself, but is unable to do so because one of his teeth is damaged. Just then, a crocodile-like creature arrives and starts stealing his food. He tries to attack it, but he hears a ferocious roar similar to his own and immediately runs towards the sound. He thinks he's found his family at last, but realizes that the voice comes from a small frog that uses its abilities to make sounds like him. On the surface, Godzilla senses something and heads towards it. He sees Cilia, an octopus titan, destroying the city of Rome, and attacks him with an atomic beam. In Hollow Earth, the engineering team receives an anonymous electromagnetic signal, which they think they've never seen since arriving on this world, and they quickly inform their superior Eileen, but she ignores it, saying she's never seen such signals in her life and thinks it's an error in the system. We see Jia trying to sleep in her classroom, but she is interrupted by visions she quickly draws. The teacher informs Eileen and thinks there's something wrong with the girl. She asks Eileen to remove her from the school as she is influencing the other students, but Eileen silences her by revealing that she is the last living member of the Aoi tribe and that they must teach her the customs of this world. She then takes Jia to the facility's room and tells her to get some sleep. Jia sees the same vision as in her dream and screams aloud. Eileen hears her and immediately rushes to her aid, only to see a horrified Jia inside a small tent. She demands an explanation and Jia reveals that she's going mad. However, Eileen observes Jia's drawing and the electromagnetic signal, believing them to be similar. She immediately goes to Miami and meets Bernie, who is now making a lot of money with his podcast about the Titans. She shows him the signals and Jia's drawing. Bernie initially refuses to help her, revealing that he has a grudge against Monarch, but when Eileen tells him she'll take him to Hollow Earth, his lifelong dream, he immediately agrees. Just then, Eileen receives information from her team that Godzilla is on the move. She tells them this isn't possible, as Godzilla only moves when he senses danger, but is surprised when she sees Kong emerge from the portal to the surface world. Jia explains that Kong needs their help because one of his teeth has been damaged. Eileen summons a high-tech engineer named Trapper, who first extracts Kong's tooth and then replaces it with a metal one. Eileen thanks him for helping Kong, but is interrupted by Bernie, who informs her that the signal received from their system is a distress call, meaning there's something down in Hollow Earth calling for help. She informs her superiors, who, on reflection, agree to send her to Hollow Earth. She forms a team comprising herself, Trapper, Jia, Michael and Bernie, and quickly heads for Hollow Earth in Kong's wake. Meanwhile, on the surface, Godzilla begins to absorb radiation energy from one of the French mountains. The military see him as a threat and start attacking him with drones. But they are no match for Godzilla, who quickly eliminates them. The head of Operation Hollow Earth, Jane, can't believe Godzilla would attack them without provocation and immediately informs Eileen. Eileen informs everyone of the incident, but is shocked when she arrives at the Hollow Earth station to find that everything has been destroyed. They wonder who could have done it, but notice a gigantic bloody footprint on the wall. Some of them think it belongs to Kong, but Eileen silences them by saying that the size of the hand is bigger than Kong's. With that, they grab a station security tape and run off. Eileen checks the footage and sees a huge Titan eye, which she hasn't seen since joining the Monarch, and wonders what it could be. On the other side, Kong hears the same voice again and follows it under the mountain. He sees skeletons and thinks this is where his ancestors lived. Just then, he sees the shadow of a figure, but it turns out to be that of Suko, a mini-Kong of his own species. Kong tries to greet him by shaking his hand, but Suko attacks and bites him. Suddenly, the other members of his species start attacking him, but Kong eliminates them one by one. The leader of the group sees this and flees, despite being hit on the head by a stone. Kong grabs Suko and asks him to lead him to the others. Suko hesitates at first, but agrees soon after Kong threatens him. As Suko takes Kong back to his family, Eileen and the others land on the other side of Hollow Earth. They enter a forest and Trapper says he smells meat nearby, but Michael silences him by saying that the gun he's wielding has heat signature detection technology and that if there's something out there, the gun should have warned them. As he ignores Trapper's warning and tries to lead the group, he is suddenly devoured by a giant tree. Seeing this, the others flee to the other side of the forest and find themselves in an ancient place. They see the statue of Mothra and Eileen thinks it's the home of the Aoi tribe, where Jia comes from. Just then, Jia spots a luminous insect on a rock and, by pushing the rock, opens up a secret path for them. They follow him and are surprised to see a door made of water. They wonder who could have built it, but Jia can wait no longer and destroys it with his own hands. They see ancient crystals on the other side of the door and Eileen thinks they must be the source of the signal they've received. Meanwhile, Suko leads Kong to a lake and informs him that his home is on the other side of the lake. As Kong tries to cross the lake, he is attacked by a snake-like titan who tries to devour him. Suko sees an opportunity and tries to escape, but Kong surprises him. The two sit down by the lake and Kong begins to eat the titan he has killed. He shares it with Suko, who at first hesitates to take it, but when he realizes he's hungry, he starts eating it too. On the surface world, a ship tracks a strange radiation energy and the captain believes it comes from an ancient titan called Tiamat, a giant snake-like titan that lived in the waters of Skull Island. Then Godzilla arrives and starts attacking him. The two clash, but Godzilla quickly defeats him, smashing him to pieces with his atomic blast. The Navy is surprised by Godzilla's strange behavior and thinks he's up to something big, for which he needs the other Titan's radioactive energy. At Hollow Earth, Jia and the others are captured by a tribe. They take them to their lair and the group can't believe that a human civilization lives inside Hollow Earth. They see portals which, according to Eileen, can take them anywhere in the surface world. Just then, their queen arrives and asks her men to bring Jia to her. Eileen tries to fend them off, but Jia stops her by revealing that they will do her no harm. The queen consults her memories and realizes that the girl they were looking for is indeed her. Eileen also understands that this is the Aoi tribe and that it is they who have sent the signals. The queen then takes them to their secret chamber and tells them the story of the Titans and the Great Apes. Reading it, Eileen reveals that originally, the Hollow Earth lived in harmony with the surface world. The Titans were the guardians of nature and the Great Apes were its protectors. But an evil ape named Skar King tried to threaten this peace and led his army to annihilate the surface world, but Godzilla stopped them by imprisoning them inside Hollow Earth. Skar King, however, is still obsessed with reaching the surface world. Meanwhile, Kong and Suko reach a mountain and see the skeleton of a giant titan that serves as a bridge. They cross it, and Kong soon finds himself in the presence of his own people. He realizes that his people are being treated like slaves. Kong helps one of the workers and comes face to face with the guard, but knocks him out with a powerful punch. The king sees this and emerges from his cave. He first mocks Kong after seeing his metal teeth, then throws Suko's grandfather into the lava because Suko has taken Kong into their lair. Seeing this, Kong roars fiercely and declares battle. The king accepts the challenge and pulls out his weapon, made from a titan's spine connected to a jawbone and adorned with a blue crystal blade. With it, he attacks Kong, but the latter gains the upper hand after throwing him to the other side. The king realizes that he is no match for Kong and activates the blue crystal's energy. An ancient titan called Shimo appears, whom the king can control with the blue crystal. Shimo freezes Kong's hand with his ice attack. He tries to finish him off, but Suko shows him the secret way and Kong flees for his life. The king orders his henchmen to kill Kong, and they set off in pursuit. Kong eliminates a few monkeys with one of his traps, but finds himself trapped in a cave. With no way out, Kong realizes he has no chance of victory with his injured hand. Suko arrives and activates one of Kong's traps, dropping huge boulders on the monkeys and quickly eliminating them. In doing so, he helps Kong and takes him to the other side, but doesn't realize that one of the monkeys has survived. The surviving monkey follows them, bringing him to the area where the Aoi tribe lives. The monkey informs the king of this, who immediately gathers his army and starts marching with Shimo. On the surface world, Godzilla awakens after absorbing radiation energy, and the Navy is shocked to find that Godzilla's nuclear power has increased 20-fold. At Hollow Earth, Kong finds Jia and Trapper can't believe Kong has found them, but Eileen admits he must have sensed Jia's presence. They look at Kong's hand and think that if nothing is done, they won't last a day. At this point, Trapper has an idea and shares it with Eileen. Eileen reveals that they've been working on Mechagodzilla's parts and that the aim is to create a titan stronger than Godzilla. She reveals that the prototype is shaped like an arm and is already in the Hollow Earth station. After this revelation, Trapper takes the prototype and attaches it to Kong's injured arm. Kong appreciates this, but is shocked when Suko informs him that the Skar King's army is nearby. Kong tells Jia and immediately heads for the surface. Jia informs Eileen that she has asked Kong for help and Eileen understands that Kong is hunting Godzilla and that Godzilla won't come down until she brings him here. At this point, the queen takes Jia to the giant energy wall and reveals that she is the only one who can awaken Mothra, and that Mothra is the key that allows Godzilla to protect this place. The Titan looks at Jia, then flies back to Godzilla, while the queen orders her people to evacuate immediately. On the surface, a great portal opens in Egypt and Kong steps out. Godzilla senses his presence and moves quickly towards him. Kong tries to stop him, revealing that he's not here to fight and needs his help, but Godzilla shoots him down along with one of the pyramids. The two face each other and Godzilla tries to kill him, but Kong knocks him out with the powerful fists of his new glove. He tries to attack him again with his atomic explosion, but Mothra, accompanied by Jia, intervenes and stops them. Godzilla looks at Mothra and is delighted that she is still alive, and he immediately agrees to help them. At Hollow Earth, the Awee tribe pours chemicals into the crystal area. Bernie, after observing it, reveals that they want to create an anti-gravity shockwave in this area. He explains that this chemical reaction will force the two magnetic crystals to collide with each other, producing an anti-gravitational shockwave in the area, allowing the Titans to fly through the air for 4 minutes, after which they will crash to the ground. Just before the two magnetic crystals collide, Skar King arrives and orders Shimo to attack him. Shimo complies and freezes everything. The two try to attack Eileen and the others, but Trapper saves their lives by attracting flying titans towards Shimo. Suddenly, Godzilla and Kong pass through the portals. They try to attack Skar King and Shimo, but before they can, magnetic crystals collide with each other, causing a huge anti-gravitational shockwave. The titans and apes take to the air and start attacking each other. Godzilla pursues Shimo, while Kong fights the king. Shimo attacks Godzilla and freezes him, but Mothra comes to his rescue and pulls Shimo towards him. At this point, 4 minutes pass and the 4 titans fall into the portals, while Kong's axe remains in the Hollow Earth. The portal takes the titans to Brazil, and Skar King is delighted to have finally reached the surface world. He then asks Shimo to attack the city and freezes everything. Kong sees this and rips Skar King's teeth out with a punch, while Godzilla eliminates Shimo with an atomic explosion. Both attack Shimo, but the creature gets the upper hand. The king orders Kong killed, and Shimo sends him a massive ice attack. Kong tries to block it with his glove, but is unable to do so because the attack is so powerful. Godzilla attacks Skar King with his atomic blast and shatters his weapon. Kong sees the blue crystal and tries to break it, but Skar King stops him. Just then, Suko comes to his rescue through the portal and shatters the blue crystal with Kong's axe. Shimo recovers and Godzilla and Kong pounce on Skar King before Shimo freezes him with his ice attack. The Titans then declare victory over the evil king. Now that the battle is over, Eileen tells Jia to leave with her people, believing she'll live happily ever after with them. But Jia says Eileen is her mother and she won't leave her. Godzilla then heads for the surface world and Kong becomes the new king of his tribe, with Shimo at his side. What do you think of this new monster movie? Write it in the comments and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Until next time.